You are listening to Jonesy and Brown on the Lance J Radio
What's going
Network.
on, everybody? I'm your host, Mike Jones. With me, John Brown, as always. Jonesy and Brown on the Lance J Radio Network, Sirius Channel 141, Howard University Radio. JB, how are you today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Enjoyed week one of the NFL. Enjoyed the weekend of college football. Got WNBA playoffs coming up, man. I'm good. I'm in a good spot. Very good spot.
You excited about the WNBA playoffs?
Damn. I'm always excited about playoff sports, no matter what the sport is. You give me playoff sports, and I'm good. I'll find something to watch. I'll find compelling storylines. So, yes, I am excited about the WNBA playoffs.
All right. Well, that's good. With us, we got a guest today, Rob Knox, a man who wears many hats. We're going to fill you in at some point on where you could follow him and all of his work. But right now, we're going to get straight into some sports talk. WNBA playoffs coming. What should we be looking for, Rob?
Yeah, you're going to look for a competitive series across the board. Anybody can beat anybody. So even though Minnesota is the number one seed, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't win it. But I'm going to ride with Minnesota to win it. But it's hard to bet against Asia Wilson and everything that she's doing and has done. So it should be fun. A lot of good games, a lot of close games in WNBA playoffs coming up.
Now, you talked about Asia Wilson. You talked about, that's who you riding with. But Minnesota is sitting up there at the top of the league right now. Is it their time? They were runner-ups last year. Now they're sitting up there at the top of the league. Is this their year?
I mean, it certainly can be their year. And I like their chances, especially if the Fisa Collier is healthy. The team is motivated. They're battle-tested. They're experienced. And they have some really good pieces around Collier that can, they play really good defense. Obviously, Cheryl Reeve is a coaching legend. So I think that the Lynx can do some things, but like anything else, it won't be easy. But again, I think that speaks to the quality of the competition in WNBA that, once you get past the first round, I think any semifinal series is going to be challenging. And then this year they're doing best of 7 for the WNBA finals. So that should really be fun. And usually over a 7-game series, the better team usually wins.
Mm-hmm. So, are you a fan of that?
I am. I like the best of 7 in basketball because, again, I think, over the course of a 7-game series, the best team usually wins.
Go ahead.
So 7-game series, like you said, best team usually wins. Do you think there are any sleeper teams, however, that we should be looking out for?
It's hard to call Phoenix a sleeper because they're going to be the 4th seed and they have an MVP candidate in Alyssa Thomas. Mm-hmm. And down at the bottom, I mean, between Golden State, Indiana, and most likely Seattle, I mean, the Sparks still have a sliver of hope of getting into the playoffs, but they need a lot to happen over the next few days. Caitlin Clark's not playing for Indiana, so and Golden State, they just have all the vibes, right? So I think, with the right matchup, Golden State could surprise somebody in the first round.
Golden State could surprise somebody in the first round, but could you see them going farther than the first round?
No, if they get to the semifinals, I doubt that they will.
That's probably their ceiling.
That's their ceiling.
And it depends. Obviously, if Vegas is the 2 seed and Indiana is the 7th seed, and Indiana knocks off Vegas, which I don't expect to happen, right? But suppose that happens, and Golden State knocks off Atlanta. Right now, in the second round, in the semifinals, Golden State has home court, and I would like that. I would like that in that scenario for Golden State. But the problem with Golden State, unfortunately, is now they have to play their home games in San Jose, which is about an hour from San Francisco. So that's the unfortunate part of being an expansion team and kind of trying to rent out the building.
But still, you look at, and we talk about expansion teams. Usually, when you see an expansion team come into a league, they're not good. Here's Golden State, 23 wins, 20-some wins right off the bat. You know, like how does that happen?
Well, I mean, they got talent. I mean, they got Tiffany Hayes and obviously Veronica Burton has had a breakout year for Golden State. I mean, I had a chance to see them in person about a month ago down in DC, and tell you what, they aren't bad. And I think just the talent level is so high in women's basketball that when you have to protect players. Or I mean, we have to, just protect 6 players. You leave 6 unprotected. There's some quality out there. There's a lot of quality, and they have the right pieces. And Coach Nakasi has done a really great job with organizing that team and getting them together.
So JB, I will actually also say this: WNBA expansion isn't like NBA or NFL expansion. Because over the last several years, the WNBA, you've seen be at a point where, because of limited number of teams and roster spots, you'd see draft picks not make rosters. There is
first round draft picks not make teams. Yeah,
so,
no, you're right.
So you might not have an Asia Wilson available, but there is high-end talent that was available simply because there was a limited number of jobs. So as those jobs become more available, you're seeing women who were deserving of opportunities to play, but just there wasn't enough space for all of them now get to have more opportunities.
Understood. So looking up at the top of the league, I'm looking at Minnesota. Of course, they got to be a favorite. You also see Las Vegas, 2-time champions. They're a favorite. Then you see New York at the 5th seed, the defending champions. But in the middle, you also see Atlanta and Phoenix. How much of a chance do Atlanta and Phoenix have?
They have great chances. And again, those are 2 teams that nobody's really talked about because, you get lost in the Asia Wilson discourse. You get lost in the New York Liberty, to a certain extent, the Minnesota Lynx. So you don't only think about the Atlanta Dream or the Phoenix Mercury, but they've had terrific seasons. Atlanta has a first-year coach. And Alicia Gray, although she most likely won't win the MVP, but she's definitely worthy of MVP consideration. She certainly placed herself in that discussion, and her and Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard are a dynamic duo. When they both scoring at a really rate and hitting the 3. The Atlanta Dream are very difficult to play against, and obviously inside with Breonna Jones and Brittany Griner added that veteran stability. There's a lot to like about Atlanta. I think Atlanta has a really solid team. Same thing with Phoenix. I mean, you got some former WNBA champions surrounding Alyssa Thomas, who's a walking triple-double. DeWanna Bonner, Kalia Copper, they're both WNBA champions. So, I mean, would it be out of the realm possibility to see an Atlanta Phoenix final? And would it set the earth on fire if or get the universe out of orbit if they met in the finals? No, I mean they're definitely quality. They're 2 quality teams having a good year. That's why I think it's really going to make the WNBA playoffs really special this year.
All right. Well, one last thing before we let you go. You got the Fever in the playoffs. Unfortunately, they have lost Caitlin Clark for the season. Can they still be a dangerous team?
Sure. I think they can. I think anytime you got Kelsey Mitchell.
Understood. Well, look, man, Rob Knox, we got to get you back on, talk more WNBA playoffs, man.
We'd love to do it.
All right, sir. That's Jonesy and Brown for the Lance J Radio Show. We'll check you guys out next week, all right?
Want more Jonesy and Brown? Follow them on social media at Jonesy and Brown or at BITW Sports. Download their latest podcast by going to bitwsports.com. You have been listening to Jonesy and Brown on Lance J Radio. You're welcome. You're truly, truly welcome.